Today is Monday, August 5th, 2024, and this is your Monday morning statewide briefing. We'll start with introductions. Real quick, just a roll call to see if we got our areas here to give report outs, starting with Northwest Oregon area.
Morning, Blake. Robbie Lefebvre, Assistant Area Director for Northwest.
Hey, Robbie, thanks for joining. Southern Oregon area. We got anyone in from Southern Oregon area? Not hearing anyone from Southern Oregon just yet. We're going to move to Eastern Oregon area.
Good morning, Gina Miner, Assistant Area Director for Eastern Oregon area.
Hey, Gina, thanks for joining. And before we go back to Southern Oregon area, I would just like to thank both internal and external cooperators to ODF for joining the call. Folks from ODEM, Governor's Office, Keep Oregon Green Association, our industrial cooperators, Oregon Military Department, AOL, and various others really do appreciate all the attention that you're giving the Department of Forestry in our current time, and just appreciate all the help all around. And then last call, Southern Oregon area. Did we get anyone on?
Yeah, good morning, Blake. Dave Larson here. I'm up here in Salem today.
Hey, Dave. Good to hear from you. All right. With that, we're going to go ahead and get started here with a fire weather update. TZA, go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. So this is your fire weather and potential update for August 5th, Monday. So we have a national significant fire potential update for August. So we'll take a look at that. We also have just a few hazards and warnings. And then we'll take a look at what happened with the lightning and moisture that we've been experiencing and see what's ahead on thunderstorm potential. We'll cruise around the state looking at the significant fire potential website from ODF, looking at the National Fire Danger Rating System indices like ERCs and fuel moistures. And then we'll take a quick glance at the forecasts. We've got an August outlook for you. This early August is a good time to kind of refresh and see where we're at. And then this week's temperatures, precipits, and relative humidity. We'll round out with the Northwest Coordination Center's fire potential outlook. So we do have a new national outlook. And for August, Eastern Oregon area and Southern Oregon expects to see above normal potential. And this largely reflects recent fuels and fire behavior advisories that have been issued for Eastern Oregon and for Southern Oregon as well. Those are still active, and appreciate the regional fires and fuels folks around the region and the Northwest Coordination Center for putting those fuels and fire behavior advisories out. So be on the lookout. We do have an active red flag warning. This morning it was good through 10 a.m. east of Mount Hood. We actually did see a little bit of thunderstorm activity in the North Oregon Cascades. And then through 5 p.m., lightning is still expected through Northeast Oregon. And then we have air quality alerts in basically the southern half of Oregon for smoke, wildfire smoke. Just a quick glance, July of 2024 has had a lot of lightning events, and just kind of cataloging those through the season. And this time around for August 2 through 4, which was just past weekend, we had about 745 strikes through that episode around the state. And just wanted to show that there was some moisture with these thunderstorms in Northeast Oregon, Southern Oregon, and in Northwest Oregon. So we did have quite a few strikes here in July, some with moisture, just a real mix of conditions. So for today, the lingering thunderstorm potential is kind of moving on from the North Oregon Cascades. It's moving northeast out of the state. Should be out of the state by Oregon by tomorrow. And then we have a general westerly flow thereafter. And we're going to be experiencing this week a pulse of warming and drying again. And I wanted to, again, credit Northwest Coordination Center to remind us that as moisture in the cloud cover moves east, you can expect a little bit of increased active fire behavior. And with the heat coming in, and it's going to be drying out. So just keeping our eye on these thunderstorm probabilities. ODF smoke management meteorologists and Pete Parsons, they keep this up to date for us, looking at the wet thunderstorms on the left and the dry thunderstorm possibilities on the right. And just wanted to show both of them because of that mix of wet and dry. You know, we're always paying attention to the dry, but hopefully there'll be moisture if we do see more lightning toward the end of next week. And then residual through today in Northeast Oregon. ODF significant fire potential. The indices are actually now running about average for early August. We can see the Dows up there. It just popped up into the extreme. The indices on the west side are moderate, but you know, just right there at the cusp. And so we've had a little bit of a reprieve with the moisture coming through the thunderstorms. But we are expecting to just continue to warm and dry again this week. Just browsing around the state, looking at Klamath this time because they had a couple of lightning strikes down there, some fire starts. They're running about average, forecasted to increase in the next couple of days. The Dows wanted to put a bullseye on that because they are in extreme. So, you know, the fuels have baked a little bit, so the ERCs came up. But they're going to be running about average through the week. And Northeast Oregon had a little bit of a reprieve in their ERC index, and they're going to be running about average there. Fuel moistures, Klamath Lake, a little bit above average on the large fuel moistures, but forecasted to remain about average there and maybe come down a little bit. And with the Dows, definitely expecting to see a drop in those fuel moistures. And with NEO, a little bit of an average there, but still a drop. Let's look at August, above normal temperatures for most of the state. We see a little bit of that marine influence with the coastal area for equal chances of above or below normal temperatures, but still below normal precipitation. Just to remind us that this moisture that we've seen come through is that edge of the monsoonal moisture in the southwest. So it was real good to have some of that moisture come this way, this far north. A 6 to 10 day, just really close in. I look at the forecast made a couple of days ago, what was expected for this week. So we're looking at above normal, obviously, and below normal for the precip, and near normal for some of the areas there. And you can see the residual influence there of that moisture for Eastern Oregon. Cruising through the week for temperatures, about 80s, 90s. Again, that westerly flow. Today is going to be kind of a last chance for moisture for the week up in Eastern Oregon there, and a little bit of residual in the Mount Hood area. Humidities back down into the teens, east side. We've been pretty much low teens and high teens. And then 30s to 60s west side. It's going to be warm and dry this week, but not unstable with thunderstorm activity. Overnight recoveries 40s to 60s. The temperatures aren't going to be as low for overnight. Northwest Coordination Center is calling for elevated fire potential for several of the predictive service areas through the week. So take a look at Northwest's website and you can refresh your mind on these factors. So we have another pulse of warm and dry weather this week with westerly flow. The thunderstorms and instability are moving northeast, then out of Oregon. Indices are running about average, but still elevated. And then watch for more active fire behavior as the smoke and cloud cover gets pushed out of Oregon. And a report, Blake, sorry it was long this time.
No, that's an excellent report out. Thank you very much, TZA. Very thorough and all-encompassing. Moving into the current fire situation, folks, it's kind of a wash, rinse, and repeat of weeks previous. Currently sitting at a national PL of 5, regional PL of 5, ODF activity level of 5. Number of uncontained large fires in the Northwest. Currently showing 31 uncontained large fires in Oregon, 7 in Washington, with 0 NEMO teams deployed, 2 Type 1 teams deployed, and those are your ODF teams, 0 Type 2 teams, and 16 CIMT incident management teams deployed. Teams deployed in Oregon, the 13 CIMTs in Oregon, 2 Type 1s, 0 Type 2s, and we're showing on this tracker 0 OSFM IMTs deployed. I believe that is an error, and I'll work on verifying that after this call. Currently, ODF IMTs deployed. Team 1 is off and unavailable on much needed days off. Team 2 is currently closing up shop at the Winding Waters Complex in Northeast Oregon. I believe they're going through a transfer of command today or tomorrow, and then their team will be sit down for a day to reset their 14-day availability, unless we have a pressing need in the meantime that we need to do a hot deployment from Winding Waters to a new one. And then Team 3 is currently engaged on the Battle Mountain Complex. You know, they were extended an additional 7 days, and so they have a couple days before they hit their 21 days before they can demobilize. Fire stats to date, currently showing 445 human-caused fires within ODF's protection for about 98,000 acres, showing about 100 fires, lightning fires on ODF protection for about 87,000 acres, which gives you a grand total of 545 fires on ODF protection for 220,000 acres and some change. Still a little iffy on the statewide statistics, having trouble pulling in accurate numbers for you guys. What we can share with you is right now, statewide, within the state of Oregon, we're tracking 1,388 fires to date for 1.387 million acres. On today's agenda, you'll see a whole list of fires in accordance with their priorities for the state of Oregon Department of Forestry, including Lane 1, Battle Mountain, Court Rock, Winding Waters, Microwave Tower, Falls, and Lone Rock. I'm not going to get into the specificities of those incidents. I'm going to let the areas report out, you know, the incidents that they wish to, but those are on the agenda. If you guys want to see more detail in the areas, don't necessarily get into a specific fire there. With that, we're going to turn to the area directors or designees for their area report outs, and we're going to start with Northwest, Robbie LaFay.
Thanks, Blake. Robbie LaFave, Assistant Area Director for Northwest. I'll start with accidents or injuries, and thankfully we have no new accidents or injuries to report. So just thank you to our staff up here in Northwest for doing a good job of taking care of themselves out in the field. In terms of industrial fire protection level, IFPL, we're 1 along the coast in Northwest 1 and West Oregon 1, and then we're an IFPL of 2 across the rest of the area, including Clackamas, Marion. If we switch over to public use restrictions, again, we're moderate along the coast and then high everywhere else. And even though we got that little pulse of rain, you know, the conditions out there are letting us know that that's where we need to sit. So we just ask people to be cognizant and take care of what they need to out there. You know, I'd say for the area fire situation, it's been moderate to high initial attack across the area. North Cascades has been having 10 to 15 fire starts a day over there, and they're running. And so we're just asking people to be really cognizant of what they're doing. You know, and what we're trying to do here in Northwest is to keep us off the board. And so I think we're doing a really good job. And I want to let my staff know that's on this call that just, again, a thank you for going out and crushing the starts that you're getting. For resources outside of the area, we currently have 103 people outside out of the area. That's down a little bit from last week. We are starting to feel that pinch. You know, we're asking people to do a lot, but I think we're doing good. And then we have no severity needs at this time. And then for me, for my issues or concerns, I think you all know at this point, I'm going to say something about mental health. So everybody just take a deep breath in with me. Breathe. Right? That feels good. Just to take that breath. And the most important thing you all can do is come home, both physically and mentally. You guys are, everybody out there on the front line is doing an awesome job. And so thank you so much. But come home when you're ready and when the time is. And with that, I'll end it. Blake, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Robbie. And you've very quickly become one of the agency's champions in terms of mental health and wellness, and it is very much appreciated, keeping the important things at the top of the list. So thank you, Robbie. Moving to SOA, Dave Larson.
Good morning, everyone. No accidents or injuries to report. Looking at the weather, temps upcoming week will be in the upper 90s across most of the area. RHs will be down about 20 to 40% range. Looking at Angel 5 and 6 conditions upcoming this week, and we do see a potential thermal trough Tuesday, Wednesday timeframe in the coast ranges there that will provide for low nighttime RH recoveries. Potential for a cooling trend after next week with dry and seasonable temperatures. Fuels, ERCs across the area will trend to continue to climb throughout the week, looking at the 100-hour fuels and 1,000-hour fuels below the seasonal norms. For fire danger and public use, we are in extreme fire danger in Southwest Oregon and DFPA and high all others. We're also in an IFPL level of 3 inland and a 2 on the coast. Fire activity, we had light IA over the weekend. We're still averaging about 5 to 6 fires per day. We did have one holdover lightning strike in Southwest Oregon District yesterday, and that fire was contained at about 2 acres. And then yesterday morning, east of Sutherland, we had multiple fires were reported, appeared to be human caused and intentional. And my understanding is law enforcement does have a person in custody at this time. On the large fires on the landscape, we do have lane 1 that's holding about 14,400 acres. It's 9% contained. Burning operations will continue throughout this week, so we will see additional growth on this fire. As far as resource availability, we're starting to see personnel return from their fire assignments with IMT 1 and 2 coming home. Once rested, we'll make those folks available, and looking about Wednesday timeframe, we'll be able to support Module 2. We also have our area severity is available, and we do have an Alaska Strike Team that's pre-positioned and grants pass for additional IA. No other issues or concerns, and end of report unless there's any questions.
Yeah, I'm going to hold for questions for Southern Oregon area. All right, thank you, Dave. Moving to Eastern Oregon area, Gina.
All right, good morning again, everyone. I will start with safety. So we have had a continuous uptick in safety incidents across the area. We have thousands of people engaged on these fires. So with that, it's always an expectation to have some safety incidents as it's hot and people are tired. So we're trying to get those replaced, and we're doing a great job working with Salem and everyone else to get people some days off. So looking good there. We are in extreme fire danger across EOA, and we are in IFPL 4 in Klamath, and we are in IFPL 3 in Wasco and Hood River. That has not changed. And we have had multiple new starts over the last few days from some lightning. But the thing I want to highlight is we are still continuing to have human starts. So please, be vigilant and make sure we're passing on prevention messages to everyone. As far as large fire updates, I'll start in Northeast Oregon. The Cougar Creek fire is still in Washington and is not currently in Oregon, but is a fire that we are watching. The Durkee fire is going to be transitioning to the district this week, and they are working on mop up down there. So a lot of good work going on in that area. The Battle Mountain Complex, that fire is also having a lot of good work happen on it. There is a couple of areas in the northern portion of that fire that are having some access issues. So they're going to be working on a plan to make that happen so we can get some full line around that fire. For the Winding Waters Complex up in the Wallowa area, that fire is, as was mentioned, going back to the district tomorrow. So a lot of good work there, keeping those fires small and getting them off the map. For the Central Oregon District, the Falls fire near Burns is 73% contained, and they are working there. The Alaska team will be transitioning when they time out. The telephone fire is 23% contained. And that one continues to push with the weather that has been coming in, but is looking better. The Lone Rock fire is 92% contained, and crews are making progress on portions, working through getting that in patrol status. The Court Rock fire, that one is 57% contained, and they're not seeing as much swap over and stuff on that fire, so we're starting to make the turn for better. The Microwave Tower and Whiskey Creek fires, the microwave fire is 84% contained, and the team that is engaged right there currently is doing a great job. And the Crazy Creek fire near Paulina, that fire is 6% contained and has presented challenges with the weather, but that one is looking to progress north and east daily. So that one's been challenging. So we'll keep you posted on that one, but a lot of good work there, a lot of good engagement. So thank you for that. Lastly, I just want to say thank you to all of our partners, landowners, contractors, cooperators, and other areas for supporting Eastern Oregon area. We couldn't do it without you. So thank you for that. And a special thank you to the peer support team for ODF and the Responder Life. We've really appreciated the support. So thank you very much. End of report.
Thank you, Gina. Any questions for EOA? Not hearing any. You're off the hook, Gina. Thank you very much. Let's see here. Crew resource availability currently showing 122 type 2 crews available through our IRA program, with 129 currently deployed on various fires throughout the state. Since we're in this theme of thanking people, our protection contract services unit within the protection division is the group of folks that houses all of these statewide agreements, getting people signed up and everything. I don't want to lose focus on the people that are doing all the work behind the scenes. They've done a tremendous job keeping up with the absolute flood of resources coming in. Coming out of the woodwork and saying, hey, we want to help with this fire season. So thank you to those folks. And then, we couldn't do this without the individuals that are staying home at our unit offices and signing up firefighters locally, whether they're, industrial contractors with dozers and excavators and feller bunchers, or if they're local crews, right, that want to get their name on the list. So couldn't do it without without our admin personnel really stepping up to the plate and ensuring that the operational folks out in the field have the tools necessary to be successful. So thank you. Moving to the aviation resource conversation, Sarah Prout.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sarah Prout, and I serve as the ODF State Aviation Coordinator. All of our severity aircraft are heavily engaged in IA efforts across the state and are supporting large fires as the operational landscape permits. In addition, ODF has nearly 20 ODF call-when-needed helicopters engaged in large fires across the state that are contributing to the current lightning-caused IA workload as well. We are working on aircraft transition plans for both Winding Waters and Battle Mountain Complex. All aircraft with planned transitions from Winding Waters today will be held to assist with IA. This will be reevaluated at the end of shift tonight. Battle Mountain's aircraft transition plan is currently under development. To date, Severity aircraft have flown approximately 970 hours. That's up 104 hours from last week. Aircraft have delivered 2,802 buckets, have delivered over 624,000 gallons of water, nearly 208,000 gallons of retardant, and 272,000 gallons of gel to incidents across the state. The utilization breakdown is 53% ODF, 43% federal, and 4% other agency. The 9-year average total season flight hours for Severity Program aircraft is 1,148, and we are sitting at about 84% of the season total average, which is pretty early in the season to be seeing those kind of numbers. In addition, the ODF multi-mission aircraft is currently staffed and on standby in Central Oregon for nighttime detection missions. To date, the crew has detected 22 new and unreported fires and has flown approximately 46 hours. The crew will be working hard in the coming days to respond to the recent wave of lightning with the objective of finding and keeping fires small and keeping new large fires off the landscape. There are currently 4 National Guard helicopters deployed across the state, 2 medevac helicopters, which are pre-positioned in John Day for east side coverage and Roseburg for west side coverage. The Roseburg medevac is currently unavailable. It's experiencing some maintenance downtime. We do anticipate it will return to service this afternoon, so please plan accordingly. The suppression aircraft have contributed to the suppression efforts at both the Battle Mountain Complex and the Cottage Grove fires, dropping over 100,000 gallons to date. The medevac aircraft have also conducted 6 medevac missions since mid-July when they were activated. All firefighters across the state are grateful to have access to this resource during this immensely challenging season. The aviation unit is seeing extreme competition for aircraft managers as the number of large fires continues to grow. Statewide resource prioritization and allocation strategies are being implemented to meet as many needs as we can. Pending any questions, that's all I had, Blake.
Any questions for Sarah and aviation? Again, Sarah, thank you. You're off the hook. Moving to Eric Pineda with our safety message.
Morning, Blake. Eric Panetta, Safety and Wellness Coordinator, ODF. We've had 3 incidents, one being an allergic reaction. So make sure that your folks, if they've got allergies, especially food allergies, that they're aware of what they're eating. We had also some vehicle damage. So we're still having little vehicle incidents out there. And then I'd like to kind of piggyback on Robbie. We've got fatigue going on. We've been out there. Let's check on our folks. And that's just not the people on the line. That's also the dispatchers and people in the offices. They hear some of the tragedies that may or may not be happening out there, and that could affect them. So let's work with our folks and make sure their mental health is where it needs to be. And that's all I have. Thanks, Blake.
Yeah, thank you, Eric. In terms of hot topics for the protection staff, we do and have established the statewide support team here in Salem. This is a group of individuals that are assisting with the organization and deployment of resources that we bring into our system. A lot of these resources that we're bringing in are our state partners, right? From the East Coast, from Canada, from Alaska, and a large portion currently of the staffing within the SST that we call it, the statewide support team, is comprised of Northwest Compact individuals. We have folks from Alaska, Northwest Territories, as well as Saskatchewan currently sitting in there, and previously just got done with a rotation of Hawaii and Alaska folks again in the SST assisting there. Folks, this is incredibly important. I'm sure you're tracking that the Oregon Department of Forestry, the Protection Division, has been extremely aggressive in sending our firefighters out during our shoulder season. So on the spring and the falls, when we're not actively engaged in fire suppression within the state, we've been extremely aggressive in sending our folks out to assist our partners in need. And the reciprocity of this is the complete and coordinated system. When we're in need, they in turn raise their hand and say, yes, we will send people to kind of repay that debt. It's a fantastic system. And as you can see, TZA currently has our Northwest Compact website pulled up. This is a TZA product that the Department of Forestry went ahead and built for all of the compact. If you're interested in taking a look at that, the website in there is going to be nwffc.org, and I'll put that in the chat as we close out. So tons of really good information on our cooperating partners within the Northwest Compact there. All right. We're going to move to closing comments. And today we get Cal Mukamoto, State Forester. Cal, you want to pop on and address the group?
Yeah, thank you, Blake. I think everything's been about said, but I just want to personally thank everyone and our partners and all that are helping us with this fire effort. It just seems like it just started, and it's been long and hard and fatigued, and we're only on August 5th. So, that really pertains to the message. I appreciate your aggressive engagement with these fires, but I think Robbie said it best, was we need to take that mental health break, look after each other, and be a team out there, because it's getting tough. One One thing I do want to say is that with the safety uptick in safety issues, we need to be conscious of that. And, as fatigue wears on, that's going to become more and more of an issue. So hang in there. But the following message is just basically be aggressive, but be safe. Keep your actions going. You've been effective. We can see it in the larger areas, and prior to July, we had the highest cause of fires is still human cause. Was only after this heat wave and lightning that we had so much expansion of the fire season. So we got to keep anyone who has a prevention message, let's keep that prevention message going. So thank you so much. And I mean, I'm talking about everyone. I'm really happy with that Northwest Compact, and I got a lot of thank you notes to write. So, but just hang in there. We're here to help you. Let us know what you need. Work at it. Okay, that's all I got.
Thank you, Cal. Really important for our folks to hear directly from the leadership in this agency, and I value your words very much. So thank you. And as always, folks, we're going to close with our Chief of Protection, Chris Klein.
Thank you, Blake, Cal, and others that have spoke. I really appreciate that. I want to say thank you to everybody that's online and listening and paying attention and supporting our agency and supporting this effort. I am in the main room here in Salem today, so I can't see all the participants or how many or who, but to each and every one of you, my heartfelt gratitude for joining on and participating. I heard a couple things today. One, I want to touch briefly on a couple items. One was the human starts, and just for everyone's awareness. So the Oregon Department of Forestry is a member agency to the Pacific Northwest Wildfire Coordinating Group. That group across the region, federal and state agencies. We have brought in a prevention team. So to that point of the human starts, there's a prevention team in the region right now, and they were targeted for a couple of weeks. We'll probably extend that to a full month. And their sole specific mission is to target the human starts and to try to identify and go after the trends that we have going on. It very much feels like it's been a problem early on. We added to the fire situation with lightning, and we just can't afford any more human starts. So that is a key focus, a little bit of extra effort and boost that our agencies have cooperatively brought to play. And then I missed last week. 2 weeks ago, I talked about the almost historic nature of the fire season, at least for as early in the year as we were. And I want to round back on that again as we look at the stats real quickly. I've got a bunch of papers in front of me here, but with the current large fires in Oregon right now, 1.141 million acres. Blake was reporting out earlier some of the numbers on crews. Believe those to be ODF specific, but just for the size and scope, because we're not by ourselves in this situation. It is with federal agencies. So 1.14 million acres across all ownerships. Currently, that's just current large fire acres. Just short of 10,000 personnel, 252 crews, 539 engines, 47 helicopters. Just a momentous effort that's currently out on that fight. But I want to key in back to ODF stats. Our 10-year average, and this ties into what I mentioned 2 weeks ago. Our 10-year average year to date we should be at 36,939 acres. So again, just under 37,000 acres. We are currently sitting at 220,447 ODF protected acres. And there's many private acres beyond that have burned outside of our district on underprotected or unprotected. The private landowners and the federal lands of Oregon have just suffered immensely to the tune of about 1.387 million. So we are almost 600% above our 10-year average for this moment in time. So that just really hopefully people, I guess that resonates, I guess is my hope, right? And so for your prayers and supports and well wishes for the men and women that are out fighting the fight, this is very significant to Robbie's point, to other people's points, and the wear and tear and the compression on the system, almost sixfold what we normally see to this date. So thank you for your support. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your efforts. We all need each other. And that's my parting thoughts. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. Can't say it any better than that. So with that, folks, that will conclude our briefing. I appreciate you all joining. Have yourself a great day and a great week. We'll see you next week.